The Staincast.
What is the Staincast?
Stain?
Stain. Who is Stain?
Am I dreaming? Yes.
Stain.
Keep clapping. What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Staincast, episode number 104. By the time we finish recording this episode, it would already been New Year's here in the East Coast. Anyway, I mean, I'm pretty sure I think everyone celebrates New Year's for the most part. So happy New Year's, everybody.
Except the Chinese. Their New Year hasn't come yet.
Yeah, they're sick. Happy New Year's to everyone but China? Question mark? No, I think there's other people that don't either. Whatever.
Happy New Year's. Happy holidays.
Yes, that's true. What he said. As you guys can see, I'm trying my mic out again. I'm wearing a headset. I'm going through my regulars, computers, webcam. So if you guys like what you see, you know what to do. Thumbs up. If you don't like it, if you don't like my candid angles anymore, you can leave a dislike. I mean, I don't think anybody sees them, so you can do whatever you want.
Okay. But, yes, thank you guys for, of course, tuning in. Hope everybody had a great holidays. Sorry this episode is late, but DL and I had holidays and family plans to deal with, so as I'm sure you guys did as well. So, back on our regularly scheduled program. Well, for now, I don't know if we've actually said this in an episode, but we should probably address it. So we are going to be taking a little bit of a break, like maybe 2-3 weeks off, in end of January, beginning of December.
Beginning of February.
Thank you. I don't know why I said December. End of January, beginning of February. We're going to take, like I said, like 3, maybe a month off tops. Just, recoup. We're both getting a little, struggled in our minds we want to make sure we're giving you guys the best quality content possible. So we're going to take a little break on that. But don't fear. Before we do that, we will be doing our favorite movies and albums of the year. 2 separate episodes. We know you guys love those. Those are always some of our most popular episodes, as well as some of our most popular questions of the week. So we will be doing that. But once we come back, we'll be coming back swinging with God of War 2018. We know it was on the original poll. We know you guys have been looking for it. So it's coming. But that's just one beast that we also need a little extra time to work on. So we want to give it the credit that it deserves. But when we do come back as well, shortly after, we'll be diving into our next franchise for the season of Season 3. So keep an eye out on the Instagram, as we might throw a couple of ideas and polls out there to see what franchise you want to see us cover.
True. And you guys better vote this time. I swear to fucking God. Don't test me.
Vote.
Don't test me. Or I'm coming to your house, and I'm gonna get the vote out of you one way or another. So you might as well just do it easy way or the hard way.
That is true. That clip is annoying. You can hear it. Yeah, you can hear it very loudly.
Yeah, I just found it recently, and I knew. How does this make everybody feel? How does this make everyone feel?
It's very loud. But do we give them hints, though, DL, to some of that's weak. Do we give them hints to some of the franchises we're thinking of, or do we? We just wait.
Y'all gonna have to wait. Y'all gonna wait.
Right.
His head's on backwards. I know that's the right way.
There's just double.
Yeah. Y'all unfortunately are gonna have to wait. It's not that much longer, anyways. Like we have the next 2 episodes. Almost pulled the Glock out for a second. We have the next 2 episodes, and then probably sometime in those 2 episodes, it'll be revealed.
It will. But just throw it out there. At least 2 of them that we're thinking of, neither of us have seen before.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, we'll see how it plays. Like Hag said, just keep an eye out on the Instagram.
Yes,
and get your voting hands ready, you cocksuckers. You cowards.
I know you're sitting there scrolling on Instagram every day. You might as well go over to the Staincast.
Yeah, you mindless freaking bootlickers.
Yeah, you right now, you that's sitting there at your desk, scrolling through Instagram instead of working, go over to the Staincast and vote, or like, or whatever the case may be.
I know who tossed. That's true. Jumping right into it, the only new thing we wanted to talk about, or Hag wanted to talk about, because I haven't seen it yet, is the new What If season.
Yep.
It's completed, correct? It's all
Yeah,
done, all
they did
finished.
a weird release schedule with this season where they released one episode a day for 9 days straight. Um, which honestly, I did kind of like that over the week by week thing, specifically for What If. I think that for
Yeah.
the shows, for the live action shows, doing week by week is fine because it gets that talking and the theories and that's fine. But a show like What If, I think definitely benefited from the day by day release. However, I think they needed to restructure the season because the first 3 episodes were fucking terrible. Like the third episode of the season, What If Happy Hogan Saved Christmas, was one of the worst things I've ever seen.
Shocking.
That was a really,
Shocking turn of
in my
events.
opinion, a really bad
I mean,
episode.
I took one look at those episode names, and
Well. Starting in episode 4 through 9, those 6 episodes are all pretty fucking good. What if Tony Stark crashed into the Grandmaster, I think is the weakest of that group of 6, but it's still not bad. The sequel to What If Captain Carter was the first Avenger, What If Captain Carter fought the Hydra Stomper, that episode was really good. I think it was a much better story and much better paced and everything from the first episode. So I was very, very happy to see that. That was a good episode. The What If Avengers formed in 1602 was okay. Actually, that was more than okay. That one was pretty good. I just have my issues with it. I don't want to spoil. What If Hela found the 10 rings? That one was really fucking good. That was probably the best episode of the season, maybe besides the finale. But the finale of What If Strange Supreme intervened was, in my opinion, really good. I have my
I heard they
gripes with
got
it.
him. I heard they got him.
The guy who,
Strange Supreme, they got him.
yeah, they got him. But the character was great. His motivations, as usual, were great. I think it was it was good for his storyline. His universe was dead. Like, if you watch the episode and see what happens, like, it made sense for his Jesus. It makes sense for his storyline. There's really not much you could do with the character. All he wanted was his Christine back. So
Yeah.
it makes sense. And spoiler alert, in the end, like it's him sacrificing himself for his universe to be reborn with Christine in it, but he can't be born into it. So like for his story and for his character, that's really good. That was actually really done really well.
Mm-hmm.
And then the last episode that I didn't mention, What If Kahori Reshaped the World? I have no issues with it. It's actually a pretty good episode and a good character. I think Kahori is like it's interesting for her to be introduced because like she's not from the comics as a new character. It's kind of a Harley Quinn situation where she got introduced in the animated series first. But having no like relations or pre-existing notions of this character, like there's no characters at all from the previous MCU projects, and I think that that's the only thing that really disconnects me from it. Because What If is supposed to be like What If, like my biggest problem with What If, which I know is everybody's problem with What If, is that they're not going into these like actually crazy interesting storylines that they could do with the characters that we have. However, I think that this is a good episode. Like the Kahori episode was a good episode and a good introduction to this character. That I wouldn't be mad if we get more of her in the future, just because I do kind of want to see what that character can develop. But I will also say she is absurdly overpowered.
Shocking. That's shocking. I mean, I saw like one screenshot and I was like, "Oh my fucking god!"
She just, I mean,
I
she
saw her like
literally,
opening up. Watch Love. Is that another fucking multiverse person who can just walk through the different?
no,
Okay,
she can't
thank
walk.
God.
She's pretty much infused with the powers of the Space Stone. So she can manipulate space and time so it looks like she has super speed. She can open portals, but not like multiversal portals. The only time is in the end, she uses her powers mixed with Strange Supreme powers to send people back to their own universe. But it's because of Supreme Strange's power that she's able to do that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you already voiced it. My problems with it. It's like it's supposed to be what if, but it's like these stories are pretty plausible. Like they're not that far fetched. Not
Well,
that interesting, to be completely honest
the
with
thing.
you.
It's not that it's supposed to be far fetched. It's just that what you said right there. It's some of the concepts that they're picking is not interesting, and like they're playing it a little too close to the
Safe.
chest, too safe.
Yeah,
Yes, way too safe.
I mean, that's
But
about that's like
the
every
best
project they
the
make, though.
the best episodes that they've put out, like what if Doctor Strange lost his hands or lost his heart instead of his hands? What if what if Hela found the 10 rings? Like these episodes that they're introduced, what if Ultron won? The episodes that they actually take these wild concepts and like extend them, that's the best episodes. And I'm
Yeah.
I think that what is her name? AC Bradley?
The writer, yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like those episodes are fine, but I'm glad that we've gotten those good episodes out of her. However, I'm excited that she's not doing season 3, as I'm hopeful that whoever is on for the new writer will be able to and get more outlandish with their
Hmm.
ideas.
Yeah. I mean, it all depends on how much leeway they're given too. Like, I don't like making excuses for anybody, but like when it comes to like a writer's perspective, it's like I'm sure they have other ideas, but at the end of the day, it's like if those ideas clash with someone who's making the decisions, like the director or the
Well,
executive producer or something like that, like not really much you can do.
something that I saw today actually was an article. AC Bradley did an interview, and she said that they had a really dark episode that was canceled for season 2 that was as described as Spider-Man meets Children of Men, but it was too dark, so they canceled it. And I'm very upset about that because I feel like that could have been the best episode. But since it's animated and marketed a little more towards children as well,
Yeah. Oh
they
yeah.
it's probably why they didn't. But that could have been such a good episode, such
Yeah.
a good fucking episode.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I mean, I think that's basically in a nutshell why I probably won't be watching it. It's like if you're not going to take risks, if you're just going to do I mean, some of them sound decently interesting, right? But some for like Happy Hogan Saves Christmas, whatever. That was like on Christmas. I'm not even
Yeah.
gonna make fun of it. Whatever. Um, it's just like the Avengers being established in 1603 or whatever. What difference does it make to me?
So
Like I
I
don't
think that
really.
I personally think that episode should have been worded differently,
Uh,
um, or named differently because it's fuck it. Spoilers again. Um,
Whatever.
at the end of the Captain Carter episode, the Scarlet Witch of 1602 pulls Captain Carter into her universe to help stop an incursion. Um, and it's pretty much a universe of what if 2018 was merged with 1602. That's what it is.
What? So it's just the events of 2018, like, but taking place in 1603.
No, no. It's like it's like they have some of the technology of 2018. It's like the characters that were around in 2018, and then but like they all are like Shakespearean. They all speak medieval. Hela is the queen of the universe, planet, whatever thing. Loki. Like
Yeah.
it's weird to like explain, but it's that is an interesting episode actually.
Yeah. I mean, but it's also like you said about them taking out like maybe a more mature, like darker themed episode. That kind of shows why I'm not interested. It's like if we're taking out stuff that's like mature and like interesting, I don't want the product that's
Yeah.
currently being served. Like, and it's all. I think What If is not something you need to watch. I mean, I could be wrong for this season, but last season you really didn't need to watch it in order. It's kind of just like, oh, you thought this episode sounded cool, jump in. Like there still was that like Ultron kind of arc in the background, but it really didn't mean anything. It didn't really equate to anything. But like
This one has a little more structure.
it does.
Um,
Okay.
episode doesn't matter. The first 3 it doesn't matter, but watching the Captain Carter episode followed by the Kahori episode followed by 1602 followed by what if Strange
Yeah.
Agreement, like that whole thing is connected. All of those episodes are
Okay.
connected. That's what,
Yeah.
which is again why I think this season is better than season 1, is because all of that back half is connected.
Yeah. I mean, I think I can see both sides to it. I can understand why it would be cool that it's connected because you have like an actual narrative being told, but at the same time, the very nature of a what if story to me doesn't seem like it should be connected. I think there's a
It's
blend.
connected. It's connected in like the last minutes of each episode.
Okay.
It's not like connected overarching.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's like, so the Captain Carter episode ends with her getting pulled into 1602. Then we go to the Kahori
Okay.
episode, and at the end of the Kahori episode, we see Supreme Stream, and then or Strange Supreme, Jesus, and
Yeah.
then in the
Whatever the
next
hell his name
episode,
is.
it's the 1602 episode, which we already saw previously that Captain Carter got pulled into. And then the episode after that is the finale, because in the end of the 1602 episode, we see Supreme Streams pull up on Captain Carter, and then we see the results of that in the
Yeah.
following episode. So it's not like overarching connected. It's more connected as if like Iron Man 1 is the introduction of Iron Man, which then leads into like the Avengers type thing.
Yeah.
That kind of connected.
Yeah. I think what kind of sealed it for me is the fact that I think they honestly hurt themselves bringing back the characters from the season before, because like Strange Supreme to me was the only semi pseudo interesting character. The Watcher towards the end of it, he really just he's just ruined. He's kind of a bum, to be honest with you. I like now that they're bringing some of them back. It's like I never really was that interested in. I mean, I'm trying to think of who else was even part of that ensemble cast. Like it was Drunk Thor in it. Was Party Thor in this series? Season?
The only two that were brought back
Was it Peggy and
it was Captain Carter, which they already said they had a sequel episode to it, which again I think was better than the original, and then Strange Supreme. It was only them two, and the Watcher obviously is the narrator of the whole fucking show.
Yeah, I think they really just missed an opportunity. I think I remember one of the first episodes from I think it was the Captain Carter episode. It's like I think it's at its best when it's like there's a event that's like that Nexus event that's causing now what this change is. Like in Captain Carter's Nexus event was like literally Steve getting killed or whatever the story is, right? Like she's now
Steve was shot.
Yeah, exactly. Instead of just being so like it almost brings reason to it. For us who've seen the Steve story, we've seen Cap, the first Avenger. We don't need that rehashed for us, but it's just cool because it's like, all right, literally a whole nother story emerges because of one change. But now it's like, okay, of course there's going to be a whole bunch of changes. Like you have all these different you introduce a whole new character. It's like there is no what if. It's like what if we made a new character? I don't know. I almost don't think it doesn't. It doesn't sound like I'm making sense, but I think that's just where I'm coming from. Where
no, I get what you're saying, because like, what if Ultron 1 is literally if Ultron
it could have happened exactly.
What if Ultron dropped Sokovia? That could have happened.
Yeah.
But like, what if the Tesseract landed in uncolonized America? It's like, yeah, I get that is a what if, but that is so much of a stretch.
Exactly. It's like I can't even be like, okay, so all it took was this one. Like it's not just that one thing anymore, and that's what kind of makes it.
It's this like, what if Happy Hogan Saves Christmas is way too broad, because I don't know what the fucking Nexus event is in that thing. All of a sudden, Justin Hammer pulls up to a fucking Avengers Tower. Like that just doesn't make it's out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But when you have like, what if Tony Stark crashed into the Grandmaster? That has a point. It has Tony getting stuck in space went against the Chitauri instead of falling back to Earth. Like that has a
it's a very simple cause and effect. It's like there's nothing. You don't really need to like really think outside the box for some of these what ifs. Like those are the ones I enjoy the most. At least like when. See, the problem with what if is that I just don't think that a lot of these stories justify being told. Like there isn't the story isn't good enough for some of these, and like I haven't watched season 2, so I can't speak on it, right? But there's not like no one's banging the table for and I get that's not really how it works. Where it's like you don't just make stuff just because people want it to exist, but
some of it's more outlandish than others.
Yeah, exactly. It's like I understand trying to like switch it up, be like, oh, like we kind of have a good idea of what our fan is like, sure, whatever. But to make some of these episodes to me just seem so disconnected. Like it's not like of course like come on. Who doesn't want to see what happens like with more Thanos involved? Like instead of them just killing him. I guess I know he's a whole part of the whole Infinity Saga. They're trying to get off him now, but he's one of the favorites for a reason. Like I think more could be told.
They could do another like an Endgame spinoff episode? What if
Yeah, it's
Thanos
like
actually won and then fucking there were more invaders? Like
yeah, like it's not up
what
to
if
me.
the
Like
time what if the time heist failed? That should be an
yeah,
episode.
it's just something we can more be like, okay, this is this close to this happening, or like, yeah, like what if Tony never helped them and they just couldn't figure out time travel? Like, there's so many more what ifs that are actually kind of interesting because we like these characters and we know these characters, and it's so difficult, especially in animation, to like make these new characters or introduce these characters and try not to tell us that it's I don't know that these characters are think that we have stock invested in them, but some of these characters are just like the only thing we have of Peggy Carter is in Doctor Strange, and she's an asshole in Doctor Strange. It gets completely
Yeah, and it's a
mutilated.
different fucking character.
Yeah, and gets smoked. Exactly. It's just so difficult for me to draw this comparison or like
Empathize.
empathize with these characters when
They don't exist.
yeah, and like they're just gonna get shown the door. Like there's gonna be some event that happens inevitably. It just makes it we don't see them anyways. But
That's besides the point.
yeah.
No more what if chatter. We'll talk
Yeah.
about that whenever that episode
If you guys
come out.
if you guys did watch What If and you liked it and you want to say fuck you to DL, you're a hater, do it. If you didn't like it, you know what to do.
If you're gonna
Drop it in the comments.
DL,
Hate.
the only thing I'll say, like the last thing I'll leave on it before we actually move on is, if you're gonna watch any of the episodes, especially being a Thor fan, watch the Hella Found the Ten Rings episode.
Yeah. So the one thing I'll say on that is I was thinking about watching some of them. It just kind of seems like they're just doing like they're putting a bunch of names in a hat and being like, all right, Hella fight gets the 10 rings in setting. Like, I don't know. It seems very
Watch it.
Okay.
That episode is the best one of the season,
Okay.
and it's good. It's good.
Yeah. I mean, Hella's already broken as fuck, so I couldn't imagine her with 10 rings, but I'll give it a try.
Just watch it. It'll make sense more. Anyways, no more of that.
Yeah, no more what I've talked. No more of that. We'll just jump right into it.
Minutes on it.
Oops.
Loki season 2.
That's true. Yeah, where's my segue? Sorry about that. Guys, you guys saw the title of this video. You know what episode we're covering. We're technically the MCU Staincast this week. I think I introduced us as the Staincast. That was a mistake. We are the MCU Staincast this week. Don't you worry about it. We're back. For a very, somehow turned damn, what's the word? Just a really great show turned super controversial recently. Like it really had its time to breathe. I was so much good things to say about it. I feel like we need to open with a disclaimer that the show is rather excellent. Like really is. Like especially in terms of what we've been getting. It's just kind of that passionate, that writing style where like it doesn't feel like a fetch quest every show, every episode, or whatever the case is. Even in movies, the plots feel like they have a reason for happening. Like there's characters that I don't know, they go places. Like there's great development in this show. Loki has amazing development in this show, but it just comes down to like there's just a sore thumb on it, and I wish a Marvel project could just be it is what it is. But there's always got to be some fucking asterisks on it. In this case, this is a pretty big asterisk, right, guys?
So,
like, we literally lose.
I said this to you before we recorded, or before we started recording. The way that I'm personally looking at it is, yes, we did lose Jonathan Majors. However, we did not lose Kang. So this character and this storyline will still continue, just with a different actor. Which, again, I'm not saying it will be the same. However, I'm taking this season and this project's lens as if we will continue.
Yeah, it's tough. We're also in a kind of like basically massive.
We're in a reset right now. We have no idea what's going on in the MCU.
Exactly. No, that's what I'm saying. Like it's a very big like transitional period where like I've been saying it. They got to just make Secret Wars like next year and just drop it and then reset. Like don't even worry about Fantastic Four. Make them their own fucking thing. Like you just got to reset. It's fucked. It's so fucked. Like it is unbelievably fucked. Just make an Avengers movie with the people who are left. Anyone who wants to stay, I mean, I don't even know. See, that's difficult though, because DC is kind of having the same problem right now, where
So I don't think that they should just like. I think that what they're doing, taking a step back, only releasing Deadpool next year, refilming some of Cap, for rewriting Thunderbolts a little bit, like actually like taking the time to spread out these movies, to develop
yeah,
these storylines. That's what they need to do because they could easily like. It's not that these storylines that we've gotten in the past are bad. It's just that they're implemented badly. Like, so, I said not all of them. Some of them are still bad, but like the stories themselves are fine, but the writing's bad, the CGI is bad, the movie itself is bad. Like the gore, like Thor's storyline, I think is okay. Like if you just look at it with such like broad strokes of it, or same thing with like Quantumania. Like that movie is like again broad strokes, fine, but
yeah,
they need to take this time to just really develop and harden down on what they actually want to do and want to talk about and want to show and
yeah,
I think that them actually doing that and only releasing one movie and I think like fucking 2 live action shows next year is a
yeah,
great way to push this forward.
yeah. I mean, I think they could do more. I think you just got to take a shovel and start shoveling the shit the fuck out of there. Like,
I
pardon
think
my
they
friends. Like
will.
some of these shows that, because like when you're on top like that, everyone is just begging for more, right? Like everyone wants to know, all right, what's next after Endgame? Because they're in that position. They just drop a shit ton of titles. They drop so much. Like you hear about all these crazy characters that we haven't even heard of yet. Because I mean, they had the Agatha, they had Armor Wars, that all stuff that still has not come out yet. And it's like at some point you just got to kind of like look back and be like, you know what?
So
Our universe really doesn't change because if this show doesn't come out. Like I know we promised that we're gonna release it. Fuck a promise, bro.
I
If
think
you
that
don't think people,
from what I like, I keep up with a lot of the credible like leakers and rumors and stuff, and without giving anything away because I know like some people don't want to hear, but some stuff is getting canceled. It's just the stuff that we are seeing, Echo, Agatha, like that kind of ridiculous stuff. The only reason we're still seeing it is because it was too far along to cancel.
hmm,
And I get like, yeah, you can do
yeah,
the tax write off thing that WB did with fucking Scoob 2 and
it's just
Batgirl,
not a good look. It's
but
just not a
it's
good
not.
look.
It is not a good look for the actors, for the studio, for fucking Disney. It's not a good
Yeah,
look whatsoever. So it's like since these projects are so far along, they're
yeah,
not going to get scrapped. At least TV show wise. Some of the movies, I mean, the only movie besides Deadpool that was filming was Cap 4 and that is already getting reshot the entire beginning of this year. So,
I feel bad for everyone attached to that movie, man. That movie is going to be terrible. It's going to be reshot. It's going to be like Doctor Strange, right? Where there's the makings of a great movie in there, but it's just been written over so many fucking times that you're
well,
never going to be able to see it.
the issue with Doctor Strange is Doctor Strange was still rushed to get out. This was at least pushed back over a year, so that way it has the time to actually
Yeah.
breathe and
I mean,
develop.
God only knows how credible it is. But did you see what America Chavez said? How they rewrote this fucking script like 30 times for Doctor Strange.
Um,
30 fucking times, bro. Wait, what's that thumb? Where's that thumbs up coming
what the
from?
fuck? Where did that
uh,
just come from? What? I'm so
uh,
confused. Whatever. Um,
I think it was agreeing with me. See, it was saying I was right.
no, you are right because even Michael Waldron himself said that it was rewritten so many times and it wasn't
Yes,
good. That's why I don't give it. That's why I don't fault Michael Waldron because
yeah,
he wrote Loki season 1 and some of season 2. Again, great, but
hmm,
we should actually start fucking talking about season 2.
yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah,
This is the MCU Staincast. This is always how it goes.
that's true. We always ramble. We have lots to talk
Yeah.
about.
But like, I'll just my final piece will just be this: you can never rewrite something 30 times and expect it to be good.
No,
That's just point blank. Like, no matter what it is, who it's for, like, come on, let's be real here. That's ridiculous.
very, very.
But no more of that. Let's just start getting into Loki season 2. I know you guys have been waiting on this one. Let's just jump right into it. We just want to do like least favorite and least favorite character, right? You know.
Of course.
All right, what do you got? I mean, favorite character. I mean, all right. So someone besides
Ouroboros.
Loki. Yeah. Okay. Good.
Ouroboros is fucking hysterical. He's well written. I don't even want to try to butcher his name, but he is a fucking goat. He's charismatic. He plays the character so well. The character is likable. Like there's just so much. Like I don't think I've met a single person that does not like Ouroboros.
Yeah, I like him. He's cool.
That's what, like
He's a great like he's just a great piece of the cast. Like they kind of
fits in so well to
yeah.
with the rest of the cat. Like their chemistry and everything fits in so well. That introduction scene with him, Mobius and Loki, fantastic. Any scene he's in, fantastic. And I think before watching this, I didn't realize how much of the season he was actually in until I saw it.
How much all of them are. I think like it really is like a very big collaborative effort just in general. Like Loki, Sylvie, both Kang variants, Ouroboros, even B-15,
B-15 and Keith as well.
Mobius, of course. I didn't say him, which is wild, but you know, like it had a very large cast, but they really were committed to it, and I mean, there's a lot of great things that can be said about the show. Like it breaks my it break. Well, I'll get back to this. We'll come back to that part of it. But do you have a least favorite character like that you can think of?
I don't know, Brad.
Mm,
It's
yeah,
like he kind of just appears and then disappears, and
yeah,
still don't know what's going on with how he took like his place on the sacred time. Like that makes no sense. How
yeah,
he was on the sacred time. Like I don't understand that really. I get he's kind of just there to be the like antithesis of the TVA. Like oh we got to save all branches, and he's just like nah, let me live my life. Like I get that that's why he's there, but it didn't like him and Docs were like didn't do much
yeah,
for
yeah. I
me.
agree. I mean, even I think Ravonna was good until she kind of ran out of a purpose in the
And so she
show.
just disappeared.
Yes, but basically yes, essentially that. Um, I think the whole her and Victor Timely, then the whole them setting up like them, eventually being like a couple or
A
whatever you want to
couple.
call it. Yeah, master to slave or whatever. I don't know. I don't know how Kang runs his shit, but I think there was a lot of potential with the character, and I mean, especially now, especially with God only knows what's going to happen next with this character, Kang specifically. Does Ravonna have a spot? I don't know. I think she's a great actress. She was one of my favorite parts of season one. I remember saying that she was
Hmm.
a electric part of that season. She just kind of always knew the right things to say, and I thought she was awesome. They kind of just they didn't show her the door. They kind of just brought her to a certain point, and we're just like, all
Where
right, we
it's
got Victor Timely, we got Loki, we got Ouroboros, we got Mobius, we got Sylvie, we got all the time skipping.
Casey
I just think there was
B-15.
there's just it's a shame, right? Because there's just so much going on in this, and I mean, the more that we talk about it, the more I'm kind of like remembering back, like there's a lot of moving parts in the show, and
Hmm.
it's to its credit because I think it's written exceptionally, but it's also a lot. Like you have it so
Yeah.
amazing characters like Ravonna can slip under the rug, which is a shame because she's fucking awesome. But you got to do it, I guess, when you have two Kang variants, two Loki variants. Like it's obnoxious sometimes with how much is going on.
Very, very much so. But um yeah, I don't know. I mean all the characters are great. They're all written phenomenally. Did you
Mm-hmm.
say your favorite and least favorite yet?
Favorite would probably be Victor Timely or He Who Remains. Probably Victor Timely just because he's in it longer, even though He Who Remains has like the screen presence of no one else in the
Yeah.
show besides save Tom Hiddleston. Probably, I think I mean, obviously, when you have them both together at the end,
We'll
it
talk about
is
that literally as soon as you finish this segment. We are going to talk
yeah.
about that.
So yeah, so definitely He Who Remains or just any Kang variant. I think they're both just so on top of it. Like, least favorite. I'm just gonna keep pose this thing. Oh yes, I'd probably give it to Ravonna, just because we saw how much of a leading role she could take in season one. Kind of got a taste of her, like what she can do, what she brings to the show, and I think they just missed an opportunity to keep her like super involved. I think her and Kang were a pretty interesting duo. I think there was a lot of stuff that could have been. I mean, now it can't obviously, but uh, it was nice. I enjoyed it. There really is nobody like sure, what's his name, Brad, sure,
Brad. Yeah, Brad.
but there really isn't like the character where I think Marvel always has that like kind of crappy track record of having that one character that they just make so unlikable and just so disconnected from reality. But no, the show really doesn't have that.
No, not at all. Let's just jump into it.
Yeah, some of the favorites, best scenes. Best scenes.
Best scenes. Let's just talk about that final episode. That's all we. That is every best scene in the entire fucking show.
Yeah. I mean, it is. It's just great. Like I really don't know how else to say. Like the cliffhangers, especially now that like it's always difficult to rank a show like before it's come out in its entirety because cliffhangers can sometimes ruin shit. But the cliffhangers were. I mean, that one cliffhanger of Victor Timely just getting fucking spaghettified.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then, especially the squealing sound that he makes too, it's nasty. And they kept replaying that noise too, and it really wasn't.
Every time he got laced,
it really was awful, man. But I mean, it's just a very from start to finish. It's very, very. It's airtight for the most part. Like, I mean, I'm not going to claim to understand this entire show because there's a lot of theoretical shit going on. The very nature of Loki is like super theoretical. It just starts with the what if of Loki getting away in Endgame. But I mean, goddamn, man, god fucking damn it! Does Tom Hiddleston know how to put on a fucking show?
So the entirety of this final episode is just Tom Hiddleston going from place to place, talking to all of the major characters at different points, and having absolute. Like, you could feel this man's pain as he tries to make these decisions. So it starts with him going back and forth, like spending centuries learning all the physics and all this stuff, and then realizing that he needs to go even further back. Then he has that amazing talk. Probably the best scene in the entire show. Better than the first talk with He Who Remains. Where he had new talk with He Who Remains up to the power that he's at. And it is masterful. What makes you think that this is the first time that we're having this conversation?
Yeah, I mean, I mean, we spoke a little bit on it. Like, I think one of the greatest tragedies of this show is the fact that we're not going to see Tom Hiddleston and what's his name, Jonathan Majors. Yeah, because that is just a duo. I mean, like, I haven't really super fine-toothed combed through all the new movies and Phase 4, like, all that. But, like, in terms of, like, duos, like, it really doesn't get any better than these two.
Yeah, they're fantastic. Their chemistry.
Yeah, they're just authentic. Like, just to, like, they don't need to do anything super extra or controversial or obnoxious to get their point across. Like, there doesn't have to be some screaming match. There doesn't have to be some wild third-act CGI dump, like... And that's what we gave props to the first season for doing too.
And they continue
realizing that everything doesn't need to end with some he's big now. I know I got to get big, and then he gets big, and then all of a sudden your minions are fighting their minions, and it's like we've been here before.
Yeah,
but that's what makes this show so unique. Just from first watches to like second watches.
It's fantastic, and going even a little back to the writing, since we're talking about this scene in general, but this scene adds so much if you go back and rewatch season 1's finale, because He Who Remains, like, where he's like, "Oh, I'll see you soon," like, this will happen, yada yada. It's because the loom, like, it's so well written to where, like, the loom exploding, leaving only the sacred timeline, is what allows He Who Remains to come back. Like, it just adds so much to it, and he's still paving the road for Loki to do all the time slipping, for him to get these powers, until Loki just realizes the sacrifice he has to make. He talks to Sylvie, where she doesn't give him permission to kill her, which, why the fuck would she?
Yeah.
He talks to Mobius, which it's a real hard decision between his chat with Mobius and his chat with He Who Remains is the best scene in the show.
Yeah.
Because that final chat with Mobius.
Yeah.
So comfort, there is no comfort. You just choose your burden. Like that.
Yeah.
That whole chat.
Yeah, I think like informational wise, it's got to go to He Remains, but like emotionally, I mean, like that kind of made this decision for him. talking with Mobius. I mean, we don't know the exact order that he went in. We just saw it based on what they showed us.
Mm-hmm.
But I would be willing to bet that like that chat with Mobius,
No,
along
that's
with a little.
absolutely because I'm pretty sure the way that they most likely edited it was the scenes that we saw them in was the scenes that Loki saw it
Yeah,
in.
I believe it. And I mean, sure, like he got it from like this conversation he had with Sylvie, the conversation he had with He Remains, the conversation he had with Mobius. But I think like that was like the focal point. Like that was right when like he realized what he needed. I mean, Mobius basically told him like what you're talking about. How, like there is no easy choice, there is no peace, or whatever he said. Like there is no there's no happy ending. Like you kind of just have to choose like what you can put up with. And that's and then his eyes lit up and he was like, all right, time to take.
You see the tears in both of their eyes.
Yeah.
And then I'm pretty sure the next scene is him going back to the loom watch area and
Yeah.
that slow pan that he takes around the whole room, looking
Yep.
at all of his friends before he runs down and locks the door behind him.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Like I mean, that's another great duo. What's his name? Owen Wilson. Owen Wilson, I never would have took for
Yeah,
a
he
guy.
puts
We'd
on a
be
clinic in this show.
yeah, no, absolutely. Because Owen Wilson, I've known him mostly, I think, pretty much exclusively in comedies.
And
So when I saw like, yeah, like I never thought they would go this far with his character, and like that's not a bad thing by any means. Like I'm just shocked. Like I really didn't think Owen Wilson kind of wanted this kind of role in like a superhero, whatever you want to call it, a sci-fi movie. But my God, is he fucking knows it. Yeah, he does. 100%.
I know there were rumors of him appearing in Deadpool, which is no longer going to happen, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, most of those rumors probably aren't true, anyways.
Yeah, true.
I feel like we've been getting Deadpool 3 rumors since like
Deadpool
fucking
2.
Spider-Man. Yeah, yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
The fuck was that?
Um,
No, Instagram's fucking sucking me.
Yeah, but I mean, I could continue on about the finale. I think his sacrifice and then seeing him walk up and God Loki, that is so fucking
Yeah.
hard. Him getting that suit up is so fucking hard.
Mm-hmm. No, this like they just it's kind of it's kind of ridiculous what happens when you kind of you know when to end it. Like I think Marvel's just been in this perpetual state of like, all right, we don't know who we want to kill, who we want to keep, and what's next. So we're just gonna do everything as safe as possibly can. But for Loki, there really wasn't. I mean, it sucks now because they I mean, no, they actually did write it pretty good for their current circumstances, but like it just knew when to be done. Like they didn't set up, they didn't even have a post credit scene. I don't believe in the last episode. Like it just knows that it's like, hey, this story that's being told right now is probably done. But it doesn't mean that the characters are done. Doesn't mean that like they can't be brought up again in the future.
It was a great ending and jumping off point all at the same time.
Absolutely. Like Tom Hiddleston could like whatever the rumors are, whatever he says, he's like, oh yeah, it's a great cat way to end my 20 years empty, whatever it is. He can come back. Okay, guys. Even if it's just literally a scene
until he dies. He said that himself. Like
yeah, exactly. And like it's the same thing they did with Wanda. Like just because she hasn't, I mean, I think it's a little ridiculous that she hasn't been in it since. But
well, there again hasn't been Chance, and she'll probably be in Agatha, which would make the most sense for her to appear next anyway.
Okay.
It's just again that her not appearing, I think, more boils down to the fact that Marvel's jam loaded their fucking schedule, their previous schedule with fucking everything and anything.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, I think that's most what I was saying. Like, it just knew that it was done. It didn't need some overly extended cut like finale. The finale summed it up beautifully. Like basically everything. For God's sakes, it was the name of the first episode of season 1. Like the season,
purpose.
Exactly. Like it's awesome. Like it's
the whole series is one big time loop.
Yeah, it's awesome. And yeah, sure, we want more, but at least it's satisfying. At least like it does something. Like it makes. I mean, rewatching now is a little different. We'll get into that. But like when the first couple of weeks and months prior to all this Jonathan Major stuff, like it stood its own. Like it was a fresh breath of air compared to what we've been getting and what we're used to.
Mm-hmm.
I just can't say it enough. Like it's fucking awesome.
Yeah, fantastic. What else we want? I mean, I don't really have any breaks, nor do I have any. Um, yeah, 8 moments to be honest either.
Breaks. Where are we here? Maybe just the way. It was pretty tough. When Owen Wilson's like, I'm just gonna let time pass. I guess maybe not getting a conclusion on Owen Wilson's character was a little bit of a cop out, you could say.
I mean, that was a conclusion. He saw his place on the timeline, so he was like, he just wanted to live and experience that for a bit.
Yeah, but like, so what happens to the timeline version of himself? You got to kill him.
Oh no! He's just watching. He's not.
Oh,
He's not taking
okay.
his place. He's just watching.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine then. I was just curious. I'm like, so we're just gonna be okay with the fact he's about to kill himself and then take his
himself real quick.
Yeah, and then take his kids from himself. Like, I wasn't sure the angle on where we were going with that, but God, he didn't.
That's true.
What else?
I mean, I've been saying my quotes all throughout this
yeah.
episode as I've been going.
Yeah, no, there really isn't. Like, I was trying to think of like maybe it was kind of wild that like they basically said that the whole season didn't need to happen because they were trying to figure out what to do with the temporal loom. Is that the lightsaber? Yeah.
Yeah.
They were trying to figure out what they like how to basically fix the loom or something. It's like, well, the loom only keeps the sacred timeline. So Loki has that realization where it's like this is all for nothing. But that's kind of the point. Like it's kind of showing that like this man just know like you just can't outwit somebody like He Who Remains. Like he just like even with Victor Timely, even with Ouroboros, he called like he was laughing that he was calling it a scaling problem. Like there's no problem. He even said there is no problem.
As he did it himself.
Yeah, exactly. Like the problem is that they think that there's any other outcome besides the sacred timeline being preserved, and that's it.
I mean, I don't think I agree with your like where the finale kind of says that this whole season didn't need to happen because Loki making that decision is because of all of the experience he had.
Yeah. No, that's true. Yeah, no, I agree actually.
I think it's kind of crazy to think about that this takes place immediately after season 1, as in like this is the earliest thing on the MCU timeline before any of Phase 4 and 5, like both of these seasons back to back. That's kind of crazy, but it makes sense on how it allows What If and all Multiverse of Madness and all that stuff to occur.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if I could be nitpicky, I'd say that it kind of sucks that we still don't know what broke the multiverse. I think that's a little wild, considering how long it's been since we've seen that scene. I think they just kind of forgot about that one.
Probably.
There's been so many, like, I mean, it's fine. I just kind of wish we got something. Like, we're pretty deep into the multiverse saga, whatever this is going to go down as. Like, I don't even know what this saga is anymore now. Like, we really don't know. If anyone has an idea, leave a comment on what you think. But in the multiverse saga, I think that it's really always been sloppy though. Like, and this show has been the only like kind of neat and tidy, like, portrayal of it. Like, the multiverse hasn't done a lot of good things from Marvel. To be honest with you, I think it's kind of like
we got No Way Home too.
Yeah, true. But I mean, those are exceptions. Like you really can't make heads or tails of some of these movies when it comes to. There's just such a huge. To me, it's just a huge leap from like fighting the Mad Titan to variants, and it makes sense to me. But I think they just kind of didn't anticipate that they have such a huge following and people.
They just need to clean it up a little bit.
Yeah. But basically all that blabbering was me trying to figure out a yite or a break scene, but I don't have one this season. I don't think I do.
You know what we do have though?
Thirsty moment? Question mark.
It's always Sylvie.
Okay. I mean, I don't like her hair in this season. But
no, it's not. Her hair is not the best, but
it's awful. I'm just gonna say it how it is.
It's always Sylvie. Always Sylvie.
I don't even like. No, it's no.
Okay, all right. Yeah, Ravonna too.
Yeah. Ravonna's actually got, not that hair, so bonus points.
You're right. You're right. I forgot about that for a minute because
But
she
there was,
doesn't do much.
I mean, yeah, she doesn't do much, and she's dressed like a 17th century woman. So there really isn't much for us to speak on, unfortunately. They
True.
got her hidden. They got it hidden away. They're trying to hide it from us, which
I could see through.
I wish. Yeah, but no specific thirsty moment.
Wasn't that your quirk?
No, my quirk is to see things from behind.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. Come on now.
My bad.
For anyone who's asking, what are you talking about? Don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. If you know, you know.
it.
If you know, you know.
True. But where does that leave us? Thirsty moment, like we said, it's Ravona / Sylvie, and can't think of any scenes because
This leads us over to, of course, as usual, every week we take to our Instagram at the Staincast to ask you guys a lovely question, get you involved, and see what you're thinking. This week, do you have it pulled up?
let me pull it up. Also, let me be definite and cryptic at the same time. So I asked Mumbarella, was he on Loki season 1? I don't remember.
He was.
He was. Okay, good. I thought so. So I texted him. I was like, we're finally getting around to it. And do you have any ideas, thoughts, opinions, theories, blah 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 blah. This is straight from the mouth of one Mumbarella. It's a damn fucking shame the greatest Marvel TV show now means almost nothing because of the situation with Jonathan Majors. Call him a fucking bum on the air. I will get to that soon, Mumbarella. That as soon as we start getting towards our ranking, I will. He's a bum. There you go. And all the talent in the world, and you threw it away. Yes, true. But I just want to get Mumbarella's piece in there before we start getting into the fans and then our own opinions. But we asked you guys I thought it was a pretty mentally stimulating question because there really is. I mean, there's obviously no right answer, right? So, oh no, I didn't make a highlight for it.
God damn it.
Hold on, I'm cooking.
I know who told yet again.
Hold up. I always forget how you do this shit. Yay. Oops. Okay. We asked you guys, recast Kang or remove the character. I was just curious to know what you guys think. No one was asking for any crazy
Responses.
Yeah, exactly. So, Mr. Jacob Linguini says recast like Falcon, they'll be aight.
It wasn't Falcon, it was War Machine, but
he was also not the center of the universe, like their story being told.
Yeah, but continue with the rest.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, I'll just get to my point after. The kid said recast. Olivia Jones said remove. I guess she means just like I said, just remove the character. The Smoke said bring back JM. It's a rather controversial take. And so the kid decided to double back on this one. He decided that his recast wasn't enough. And it's not me saying this. I'm merely just the puppet master. Make him white, says the kid. So if anyone knows the kid,
all right. All right.
So it wasn't me saying that. I felt that disclaimer was necessary, and I won't address whether or not Ryan, what's his name?
Gosling.
Yeah, whether Ryan Gosling will be the next Kang. But no, but for real,
he'll be the next Black Panther, though.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he could just do both.
That's true.
He got time in his schedule. But where do you think? Where do you sit on this?
Recast him.
Yeah.
Yes. Majors was great as the character. However, if they find or pick an actor who's just as good, if not even better, then fuck it. We get the story back. We get a great character back. Let it happen.
Yeah.
So I like personally, I think that Chadwick Iwuji, who played the High Evolutionary, would have been great. I know that's not going to happen because he played the High Evolutionary and he probably won't also sign on for that many films. But I think that he would have been great as a Kang or Kang variant. He's a great actor. I think that he could suit the role, and he was very intimidating as the High Evolutionary.
Yeah.
So if they recast him and they find someone good enough to, like I said, equate if not surpass Majors, then I'll be fine.
Yeah. I mean, it really just depends on how they do it, in my opinion. I got no problem with either one. I think it's going to be a lot more difficult to remove the character, considering all that we know, all that's been told. I don't think it would be a great idea. I know, like, everyone's always loves their rumors. They love to, oh, Doom, that means Doom's next. Like,
Doom is not
we
a
just,
good idea.
first of all,
I
we
won't
just
throw
don't
that
know.
out.
Like, I agree with you also. I think just trying to throw away Kang and be, all right, here's another big bad guy. Here you go, guys. Here's a comic favorite. Like, that's just not how. I just don't think that logically makes too much sense. I think it's just kind of a cop out, and I think Marvel, for all their shortcomings, I just can't see them doing something like that.
Doom
I
needs
could.
so much more build-up before we even get him
Yeah.
as a big bad.
He's not just an understudy. He's not just like some, oh yeah, Kang's out, Doom's in. Like, no.
No. Doom is a massive build-up that we need to get to
Mm-hmm.
before fucking he
Yeah.
comes and he's a big bad of a fucking saga.
Yeah. Like I just like Doom is the kind of guy that at the end of a saga, you have Doom being like, all right, if you thought, like, similar to what Kang was supposed to be, it's like, oh, if you thought Thanos was bad, here's Kang. Like, Doom can be told just like that, where these heroes basically almost get killed trying to beat this guy, and it's like, oh, yeah, and this guy's nothing compared to Kang, or whatever it is, right? It just depends how they do it. I don't even have a actual stance right now. It's just too fresh, in my opinion. Like, Majors just got fired, what, like 3 weeks ago or whatever? It hasn't even been a month. Like, what the future is,
Yeah.
like, time will tell. It's too soon for me to make a. Ideally, I'd like Jonathan Majors back, but obviously that's completely separate of the allegation. You guys know
It's not
how
gonna
all
happen.
this stuff is. Yeah, of course, right? That's ideally that's what I want to happen, just for continuity purposes. But I think you got to recast him. I think this is about as in terms of all the recasts that they've had, and they've had some difficult ones, especially in the reigns of This one should be pretty. This is a straightforward one.
They fucking recast Thunderbolt Ross as Harrison Ford, for fuck's sake. Like, they could figure it out.
I'm still waiting to see how that plays out, because I just don't believe it. I do not believe that Harrison Ford is about to be any sort of capacity in that movie besides like a stand-in. I don't fucking believe it. Like, that would be insane to recast Thunderbolt Ross like Harrison Ford, like not even like some nobody, like literally
Harrison
as.
Yep.
I need to see how that looks, because I still don't believe it. I'm not going to believe it until I see it.
Yep. It'll be interesting. But thank you guys for responding.
I
Those of
guess.
you who did. Stay tuned for this week, where we'll post the next question, which will be a nice juicer. I guess, is it time for us to talk about ranking this shit?
Yeah, we can get right into that. Let me just check something. Yeah, I mean, might as well just jump right into it.
All right.
And we're doing
the
doing
MCU ranking.
Yeah, I thought so. Okay.
So, for me, for those of you who don't know, last season, season 1, I ranked at a 93 out of 100, which, of course, is fantastic. I still think that season 1 is one of the best projects that Marvel has put out. But I think I'm going to, with season 2, bump it up to a 94. I know it's only 1 point above. Yes, I know. But when you're getting into those 90 ranges, that 1 point means a whole fucking lot. I just personally think that the season was better. It developed off of season 1 very well. All the characters continual growth and development was fantastic, and their chemistry was great. The new additions to the cast was great.
Yep.
And then I think that it ends, like we said earlier, it ends in such the way where it is a perfect ending, but could also be a new beginning if they wanted.
Yeah. Yeah, no, we didn't speak too much on that, but yeah, even the way that they kind of tied it up, where Loki is now in control of the multiverse, there's probably no He Who Remains anymore, since Loki's kind of like changing the story, breaking the cycle, if you will. like you said, either Kang could come back in his full capacity, or he could just be, oh, here's a Kang variant that we have to take care of. One episode of one show.
Can you say that again?
Heck you.
You're so welcome. Your kindness really gives me a charge.
Get the fuck out of here, Google.
What's she dissing me for? I literally said nothing. Whatever. Back to what was I saying?
It's a good show.
Yes, it is a great show.
What's your number?
Last season, I gave season 1 an 89. I think I almost want to score these together. I almost want to do season 1 and season 2 combined equal this.
Okay.
Just, I think they really are.
If we're doing that, then I can change my ranking as well because they are one.
That's something like that's kind of my. This is like the most open and shut I think we're probably ever gonna get out of Marvel when it comes to like a part 1, part 2 esque season 1, season 2. I just think that it's just they're so consistent between the two series that I would just rank them together. Like there is no main character change. There is no story change for the most part. It still is that same story, the same characters. Like you add and subtract a few.
I think that if that's the case, my combined ranking would bump it up to a 9.5.
I would probably I'd probably give it like a 91 because it'd probably be like a 93 and then an 89. So I'd be like a 91 and a half or whatever, 92. So the one thing I'll say is why it's not higher is just because replayability will always play a factor into how we rank a show. In a different world, in another world where these issues don't happen, and we're not speaking about recasting Kang, maybe it's ranked higher. But I mean, that's not Marvel's fault, obviously. But it's still a problem. Doesn't mean like obviously it's a shitty situation, and no one wants to really be involved with it. But it's the world we live in.
Yeah, watch the show if you haven't watched it. If you have watched it, give it a rewatch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you watched it, but you haven't watched season 1 in a while, you should really do like the season 1 and then season 2. Yeah. I think that'll be rewarding. Absolutely.
But thank you guys, of course, for tuning in. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and ring that bell. If you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple Music, give us a follow and rate us. Then head over to our Instagram when you're done with all of that, where you could follow, turn on post notifications, and make sure you check out our question of the week that we'll be posting. And of course, when you're done with all that, go to our lovely link in our Instagram bio where you can go to our Redbubble shop to buy some merch. And of course, we will see you guys next week where we will cover our favorite. That's fucking me right now. We will cover our favorite movies and TV shows of 2023.
It's going to be a good one, guys. Make sure to check that one out.
Do
or die!